Hello guys, and welcome to episode 3 of my KSP Career mode. In the last one, we managed to get into orbit, and we unlocked some of this stuff, so we've got better fuel tanks and better engines and stuff now. Let's have a look in the mission control and see what we've got here in the contracts. That hardly gets us anything. Let's see. We can test this. While landed at Kerbin. Let's do that. Let's not bother with that. That looks like escape trajectory out of Kerbin. No thanks. Right, let's just do with that for now. Now, we do have quite a lot of different parts now, so I think we've got enough to make it to, maybe not to land on the moon, but I think we could definitely do a flyby of the moon, which could get us a decent amount of science. But first, let's do this. Testing the LVT-45, landed at Kerbin. So we're just going to do that. And we're going to put one of these on there, and we're going to launch it. Okay, I don't think we need to throttle up or anything. So we're at Kerbin and we are landed, so if we start it, then we're done. Okay, recover vessel. There we go. A few more funds, that's always good. And a tiny bit more science. Right. Now let's start working on a ship to go past the moon. There we go. So the first thing we're going to build is the part that actually lands back on Kerbin. So we're going to want parachute, science of various kinds, like so. Actually, let's go for 3 of these, like that. Okay. Now this does mean that it's a bit offset, but it's such a light part, it shouldn't matter. And we actually have a heat shield now, so let's use it. Excellent. So this is the part that is going to land on Kerbin. After going past the moon, let's add another parachute to it just to be safe. It's a bit dodgy. Okay. Alright, there we go. Now I need the part that is nice and efficient and will let us get out to the moon. So this is the most efficient fuel engine that we have at the moment, so we're going to use that. And the rest of the ship is just to get this into orbit and preferably on its way out to a moon encounter. So let's do 2 of these with one of these guys underneath it. I have no idea if this is going to be too big for the vehicle assembly building or too heavy for the launch pad, so I guess we'll just have to see. I did upgrade them last time, but I don't know by how much. Now let's do some more fuel tanks like this with another engine at the bottom. You're going to do 3 this time, so our stages are getting bigger as we go down. And let's add some radio decouplers now, and these you could put them on the side of the rocket like that. And then we can put, say, some of these big solid fuel boosters on there. Excellent. And we're also going to want some aerodynamic nose cones for that. And we're going to want some fins on the bottom layer. The bottom stage. Okay, that looks good. I don't know if it's going to make it to a moon encounter, but we'll just have to see. I need to sort out the staging. The first stage wants to be these 3 and that engine. And then these 3 get decoupled, and then that gets decoupled. And then the next engine switches on, then this gets decoupled, and then the last engine gets switched on, and then everything gets decoupled, and then the parachutes deploy. Excellent. Actually, let's move these down a little bit, because you could see the engine was kind of coming out of the bottom of our craft there. So that would have meant it would have been balancing on that one engine when we launch it, which is a little better. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, throttling up to 100%, which you can also do by pressing Z. Pressing Z will go up to 100% throttle, and pressing X will go down to 0%, which can be useful. And we're going to press T to turn on the stability assist, and we're going to press space. And as soon as we launch, we're going to lean over to the right by a few degrees, because we're aiming to get into an orbit here. And we're just going to keep gradually leaning over more and more to the right until we're in a trajectory that would easily get us into an orbit. We don't want to be pointing too far over by the time that we decouple these solid fuel boosters, because they could hit some other part of our ship. Okay, they're done. Decouple them. Oh, just like that. Right. If that ever happens, there is a easy way to fix it. What we can do is go up to the top left and click the offset button. Now, if we select the radio decoupler, it gives us this thing, and we can. It's better if you turn off angle snap, so let's do that. We can move them up like this, and let's move it back out a little bit because it moved it in when I had angle snap on. And now we can move the solid fuel boosters back down, like that. So now they're attached at the top. When they decouple, it will force the ends of them out away from the ship, so they shouldn't hit it this time. Right, let's see if that worked. It did. Excellent. Check the map. That's still inside the atmosphere, so we need to keep our engines on for a bit longer. We can lean over a little bit more though. 48. We're aiming to get that to about 75. $56. It's going up. We'll get there soon. Probably get there with a bit of fuel left in these stages here. Couple that. Next stage starting. Excellent. Very close now. Okay, that should be good. That's definitely outside the atmosphere, so we're going to physics warp until we get into space. And we've got 2 of these fuel tanks left to get us into an orbit. Hopefully we won't need all of it, so then we'll be able to use some of it to help us get out towards the moon. We're pretty much in line with our apoapsis now, so I'm going to point towards the prograde vector and switch the engine back on, which is speeding up our velocity. It's making us go much faster and expanding our orbit out. See if there's any science we can do here that we haven't already done. That's not worth it. Let's have a look at a crew report. Nope, nothing from that. And I'm going to save the this guy, the materials, for when we're around the moon, because I think we'll get most science for that. We're nearly there. Okay, excellent. So we're in orbit. We do have a little bit left in this stage. That's good. And now then, we can't use maneuver nodes at the moment because we haven't upgraded our tracking station yet. But that's okay, that doesn't really matter. What we want to do instead is we want to time warp around, looking the way that we're coming, and as soon as you see the moon come up over the horizon, that's when you need to start burning. Okay, there's the moon. So we're going to point towards our prograde marker. Switch on our engine. And what we're aiming to do is expand our orbit out until it touches the orbit of the moon. So that's this stage done. That's fine. Start the next one. Now, as you can see, with this engine, which is very efficient, but it's got a very low thrust, only 60 kilonewtons, it's going to take quite a while. So let's give this a go. Yeah, we're way too far away from the moon here. So we might get it on the way back, actually. No, we're going to miss it there as well. Okay, I'm just going to do some science up here. Let's do a crew report. 7.5, let's do some goo. 15, let's do the materials bay. 37, excellent. And let's get out and do an EVA report. Let's take that and store it again, actually, so we can reset that crew report. And let's get back in. Okay. So, we didn't go to the moon, but it's not a complete failure. We still got a fair bit of science from this. Now we are going to be going very quick if we hit the atmosphere here. You can see we're at our periapsis now, or nearly there. We're going at 3,000 meters per second. That's way too fast. So what I'm going to do is point towards the retrograde marker and switch on my engine and use it up so that I've only got a little bit of fuel left, enough to put the periapsis into the atmosphere from the other side of the orbit. Just so that when we get into the atmosphere, we won't be going quite as fast. And I mean, we've got this fuel, might as well use it. Otherwise, we're just going to be leaving it out in space. Okay, that's good enough. Let's just put it down to 30. So we're going to hit the atmosphere, but we shouldn't go in too far just yet. Or we'll go in gradually, at least. I'm going to slow down with the engine with this last bit of fuel we've got left, just to make that re-entry a little bit gentler. No, we want to be pointing retrograde so that our heat shield will do its job. Okay, looks like the re-entry effects are stopping now. So everything is looking like it's going well. And there we go. Okay, let's recover the vessel. 72 science. That's pretty good, considering it was a failed mission. Let's see if we can research anything with that. That would be 90 for this next one, which we can actually afford. So I might want to think about that. This would give us fuel lines and a lot of bigger fuel tanks. Could be very useful. That I'm not too bothered about at the moment. Planes, don't want that. Don't want that. This could be good, but I think I'm going to go with fuel lines. That's fine. Let's just tidy this one up a bit now that we've got some bigger fuel tanks. So instead of these two, I'm going to have this one like that. And here, instead of these two, I'm going to switch that out for this guy. Okay, put these back on. Very good. Okay, let's give this moon flyby another go. That all looks right. Let's go. Okay, throttle up, SAS, pressing D. And there we go. Excellent. So now let's see where we want to be to do our burn for the moon. Moon is over there, so we want to be about here. Okay, that looks good. Let's give this a go. Point towards prograde. You can tell where prograde is by clicking this button, and it will automatically point you towards prograde. You can also do it for retrograde. Let's go. Okay, this is out to the last engine that we have. Right, let's leave it there. Let's see if we end up hitting the moon on this attempt. Looks like we're going to be going a little ahead of it. I don't know, we're pretty close. Yes, excellent. Right, what we want to do now is do some science. This should be high over the moon, I'm guessing. Yep, high over the moon. Okay, let's do one of those and a crew report for 10 and an EVA report. And let's reset the crew report. Excellent. And board again. And I'm going to do the science one when we are close to the moon. Now, we do have a fair bit of fuel left, about half a tank, so I'm not too worried about getting back down to Kerbin, but I think once we get to the periapsis, I'm going to slow down a little bit so that our orbit isn't as big when we come back to an orbit of Kerbin. Now, is this going to be close enough to the moon to count as near the moon? That is the question. Near the moon, excellent. 75 science for one experiment. Let's do another crew report, and let's do another EVA report, and reset that crew report again. Okay, 24 science for that EVA report. Yeah, so now I'm going to point towards retrograde. Switch our engine on. Now I don't want to orbit the moon, so I need to point prograde and do a little bit of that. Okay, that should be fine. And I'm actually going to quick save here because I have no idea what is going to happen after. Oh my god, that is not right at all. Let's just do that so that we escape the moon's orbit a bit more. Yeah, it's F5 to quick save, by the way, and F9 to quick load. Okay, I'm hoping... Okay, yeah, good. We're still in orbit around Kerbin. So now I'm going to time warp around to the apoapsis, and then I'm going to burn retrograde to lower the periapsis until it's close to being inside Kerbin's atmosphere. Okay, retrograde. We do have to be careful about the electricity that we have left now, because this engine doesn't generate any electricity, and we're going to be using electricity moving, changing direction that we're pointing. So we need to be careful not to do that too much. Let's put this down to about 70, so that it's not quite inside the atmosphere, and then I can go around to the periapsis and slow ourselves down. I want to leave maybe 20 units of fuel in here for lowering ourselves down into the atmosphere. You can also see it up here, which makes things a little easier. You know, we might be able to just get into the atmosphere straight up here. Actually, no, we shouldn't. We should go around to our apoapsis. Okay. There we go. Retrograde again. Switch on. Let's see. 46. That sounds good. Alright, decouple. Oh dear, this isn't going well. Spin around, retrograde. Switch off that. Oh no! There goes one of our science things. Well, that didn't go as planned. What do we lose? We lost the goo. That's fine. We've still got this, and we've still got other crew reports and the EVA reports. That's where the majority of the science came from. That was my fault there. What I should have done there is decoupled the fuel tank earlier, and then pointed this heat shield into the atmosphere. Looks like we're landing in some mountains. Where are we? And about to hit the ground. The very sloping ground. Hopefully we don't roll all the way down this mountain. Looks like we're good. Oh, maybe we're not. Maybe we're not. Oh dear. Okay, let's recover the vessel before we get destroyed. Excellent, 150 science. We didn't even land anywhere. That is great. Let's have a look at what we can research. I'm not too bothered about that. This could be good, I suppose. A massive solid fuel booster and some bigger engines. That would be nice. Yeah, let's get this, which is the larger decouplers. And let's get this. Yeah, let's get this larger engine as well. Okay, good. We're really getting into the Tetri now. Look at that. We've got some things for almost halfway through. Great. Next time we're probably going to want to get some more funds. Yeah, we can try some of these contracts. We get a fair bit about this, don't we? That could be good. Rescuing someone from orbit. Rescuing someone else from orbit. Planting a flag on the moon. Guess it's a hell of a lot of money. Could look into that. One of your two vessels. Testing some engines. Okay, this looks good. I will see you in the next one.